is Colin Maher, I'm 26. I have an honours degree in health science and nutrition. I'm a full-time martial artist and fight coach here in SPG Clonmel. Since I'm about 5-6 years of age, I've competed in hundreds of different martial arts competitions in karate, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. As a fighter, I feel the best at welterweight. I feel pound for pound as strong and as fit as I need to be, we say, for martial arts. I feel that I'm not carrying unnecessary mirror muscle, you know. I find at 84 I'm a little bit bulkier. Yeah, I'm stronger and a bit thicker, but at the same time I'm carrying what I like to say is mirror muscle. The unnecessary muscle that requires oxygen and it hugely affects my cardio. Anytime I fought a middleweight, I was always the lighter middleweight because I generally walk around about 83, 84. Middleweight is 84, you know, so I just walk into the scales often on a full breakfast, you know. So I could probably make lightweight if I was to go down the sauna route. I've done the sauna route when I was younger and more inexperienced, you know, in the earlier days when I was just told to make a weight by my coaches who they themselves didn't even know what to do, you know. By any means, I just starved myself. I wouldn't drink water. I've often nearly passed out trying to make weight in my early amateur fights, you know, and you'd be fighting that night then. I have 2 or 3 fights over the years I got into with a head cold, just simply because, you know, when you're dehydrating yourself so much in the sauna, you're crashing your immune system, you know, and by the time I rehydrate and I'm back there again, I've often gone in with just real sinuses and migraines and stuff. And again, that's why I done the route I've done in college, was to try and do my weight cuts and know what I'm doing it, you know, myself, take it into my own hands and do it as professionally as possible. You try and learn as well, you get to really see how your body reacts to each stimulus. And one of the biggest things that I've learned and changed as I've gotten older, in the earlier days in Jiu-Jitsu, a lot of the time I would have tried to cut weight for Jiu-Jitsu competitions, let's say. On the day you're trying to perform at your best, let's say for a sporting event, everything needs to be as sharp as you. All your training needs to come into fruition on that day. In Jiu-Jitsu in the earlier days, as I said, when you'd be cutting weight, yeah, you're making weight, but you're also giving up fatigue and energy, and that I've often felt lethargic and, you know, because you're depriving yourself of nutrition. If you're on the highest level at the top, say top 10 contenders in the UFC fighting for the title, that's when a couple of kilos can make a massive difference. You know, if you have 2-3 kilos in your opponent when the skill level is so close, that's when it can have a massive difference.
It says to safely cut in around 10% of your body is the correct way to cut weight.
Women's mixed martial artist.
With me, I'm a very tidy atom weight, so the last couple of kilos are always, no matter how healthy I do it, and I do it very correctly, I don't mess about.
Up with her arms to cuff the back of the head.
I wouldn't say every time I've done the cut, it's never pleasant, but then there's unbearable cuts that you're going, I'll never do that again. I've only ever once had that where I got a bit too big in between camps, and I learned from that.
She can't kick with the feet, she can.
Even if I'm out of camp, I'll be very conscious about, maybe I get a phone call and I have to go do a fight on short notice. Then I need to keep my weight safe in a healthy way, that I can cut it correctly if I only had 4 weeks to go. Well, if you've got a full camp of 8 weeks, you start that camp with a certain percentage of body weight, whatever it is, and then obviously halfway through the camp you're measured again, and another half. At the start though, measuring the body weight, the first bit is very important to see that you do have the correct percentage of body fat to cut safely. If you don't have that, then you're going down a very miserable dark road, you know, where you're pulling then from just muscle and tissue, you're pulling water and fat out at the end, it's nothing there. So if you're too lean as well, that's not going to happen. So if you're a bantamweight fighter, they have a bit more body fat to work with and cut. It can be sometimes easier for the heavier fighter, absolutely, and for men as well, definitely easier with them. They can cut a lot more weight than women. So anyways, when we cut down, we do the Epsom salt baths and so forth, and then once you hit the scales and you make that weight, you drop that final kilo, which is awful for me because I'm pretty lean as it is. Then we try to get the fluids back in and the correct things. But again, my nutritionist will tell me step by step every hour what to do. I know the last week of the camp I like to be maybe around 51 coming into that week, and then it's just cutting down over each day, maybe 0.5 a kilo. Everybody wants to get an advantage of winning easier on the night. They'll take it. You know, I do walk around at 52, but I, you know, compete at 48, and there might be some girls that in my career, 1 or 2 that I fought that were a little bit smaller than me, and I felt more superior and stronger, and that's a nice feeling too. With a woman's menstrual cycle, there are different issues there, completely different. And no matter how many nutritionists I've worked with, that's still kind of a question mark over that, how it affects a woman's body. So if I was to fight at my natural weight of 52, I'd love to see, and fight someone who's naturally 52 as well. Now we've got a very even fight. Now we've no depletion. Now what's that fight going to be like? We put me in about 20 towels, loads of layers, and Dermot pumped up the heat and made it as hot as possible in the tiny meeting. We had a meeting at the time, so it was nice and small. It friggin' well worked, because my friend was waiting in the hotel to put me into another bat if we had to do this. This was like going to be my 7th bat. And at that stage, I was getting pain through my kidneys, and I knew this was bad. And afterwards, when I was eating food later, my hand completely locked and it wouldn't open. It wouldn't open for ages. I got scared. I rang my physio and I said, what do I need to do? Because he's a great guy, he's a free diver, he knows that. So I said, you need to get potassium in, start eating loads of bananas, you've taken so much salt, you've taken so many electrolytes out of your body, you've just completely emptied it. He said, you're lucky you didn't end up doing anything worse. So I was literally trying to peel open. That's when I knew that was wrong. So I never did that again.
She is good, 104.8.
You need a nutritionist. Any fighter says they don't need nutrition, they can do it themselves, it's foolish.
Typically I cut, I suppose, between 10 and 14 kilos. If it was 8-week camp, 6 weeks would be gradually cutting down. So if I was coming from maybe 90, 94 kilos, I'd be hoping to get to about 84 by 2 weeks out, and then I'm getting down to 76 to 78 kilos in the next 2 weeks by using methods like sauna and water loading. 10 days out I'd start water loading. Start drinking like 10 litres of water a day. Speeding up your metabolism, I suppose. Like once you start water loading, I mean it actually feels weird for the first few days, but like you're going to the toilet every 15 minutes, you're training, you're sweating buckets, and then I suppose it works because when you cut it down on the Wednesday and Thursday to even 4 litres, I mean you feel nearly dehydrated and you're still drinking 4 litres of water a day because you've been loading so much. Straight forward and then straight. Then a few little sips throughout the day, you feel a little bit dehydrated, but you get through it as long as you've done your water loading correctly, because your body is still, I suppose there's still enough water in your body that it's still flushing the excess out like. My ideal fight weight is 76 to 78 kilos, but I have won titles at 81 and a half, 82 and a half, and then fought at 84 as well. When I'm walking around at 90 kilos, like that 6 kilos is something that I could do in a week, because I know I can if I wanted to.
Go show straight away. Just literally
when you have a goal to get to, you know you're a good bit away from it. I think a couple of weeks out from the fight camp, and focus you more to be like, right, I need to stick to this diet now. I have to do this, have to do that, because if I don't, I'm going to be fucked 2 weeks out from the fight, and I'm going to be making it harder on myself, because I've been through all these experiences now, and I actually know firsthand what it's like to be struggling to cut the weight. Like when you have the lighter goal to get to, it'll just focus you that bit more, yeah, because as I said, I knew when I was fighting at 84, I can go out for a meal there on Friday and be grand, like, I'm not going to, it's not going to affect me, like, because I can still lose that weight handily enough, like, without too much stress in my body, so I think, I think definitely the cutting the weight does help me, yeah.
Your referee in charge of this bout when the action begins.
No, the weight cut, look, it definitely has an advantage. That's why we're all doing it. Like in some ways, it's kind of like cancels it out because everyone's doing it. But like at the end of the day, if you're able to do the weight cut well, it is just factually it's a benefit. Like if you have 2 kg more muscle than someone that you're fighting, like would you let the person kick you in the head before the fight? So like why give them 2 kg advantage on the weight as well? So it's definitely an advantage. Like the big thing you've to always remember when you're like weight cutting is like your weight cutting, like that's not the competition. The competition is the actual competition the next day. If you cut 10 kg in a week, it's going to have a massive negative impact on you. If you did it right, like if you did well within that 7 to 10%, and you rehydrated well, and then it shouldn't have an impact. Like scientifically, it shouldn't have an impact then. Yeah, so it's really important what you do, like, because your body's obviously being quite depleted. Like you see Conor McGregor, like you see what he looks like, and we look similar. So what you can't do is just start having food straight away. For the first hour, you only sip on a recovery shake. Everyone has a different type of recovery shake. Mine's like, I think it's creatine, lucozade, beta-alanine, or creatine, lucozade, electrolytes, glutamine, a kind of mix like that, and you have that recovery shake for the first hour, then you start gradually eating food. So like you might have like a rice cake with honey on top of it or something like that, and then gradually you start high carb, high protein, very low fats, and that's what you do just to get the weight back into you. So you gradually like start building it up and up throughout the night, and then you start eating loads towards the end of the night. So like then I just put all my emphasis on making the weight at like the expense of my body, as opposed now with Yannick, like that's my nutritionist. When I do it now, like I feel great the next day because I've followed the right protocol, you know.
For your winner by way of unanimous decision in the red corner, John Mitchell.
A big win for John Mitchell.